How you doing? I'm Callan and this is Slapped Ham. Today we're looking at some super creepy things that have been caught on camera that are starting to freak the internet out. So hit that subscribe button and get ready for more creepy content. Just like this. Nottinghamshire residents have long reported strange happenings in a heritage-listed building known as The Village in Mansfield, UK. Unexplained moans and shadowy figures are often said to plague the centuries-old building. Historians say that an old barn once stood on the property many years ago. Prior to the 19th century, it was said to be used as a hideout for monks seeking refuge. One day, the barn was set alight and 7 monks perished in the blaze. Having heard of the tragic history of the property, full-time paranormal investigator Lee Roberts decided to investigate the building for himself. Roberts and his team held a vigil. Using a Ouija board, they attempted to make contact. They even held hands, calling for any spirits to make themselves known. Several team members reported feeling uneasy, but on the whole, nothing too unusual seemed to happen. That was until Roberts checked the CCTV footage from the building. Take a look at what was captured. As you could see, an eerie smoke seems to roll through the room. Roberts has maintained that he's very scientific when it comes to his investigations. He doesn't like jumping to conclusions, but admits this is a very strange sighting. The bizarre event quickly caught on when several UK journalists ran stories featuring the strange CCTV footage. Viewers were quick to link the story of the burning monks with the strange smoke-like substance caught on camera. Some skeptics thought it might be vape or cigarette smoke caught on film. However, due to the Grade 2 heritage status of the building, the venue has a strict no vape or smoking policy. So what do you think's been caught on camera here? Could this strange smoke really be linked to the tragic history of the building? Let me know your thoughts down below. TikTok user Theatre of the Absurd seems to have captured a chilling bit of ghost footage, thanks to the likely haunted old theatre where he works.
Someone in here? Hello?
In the video, the TikToker gives viewers a tour of the creepy old theatre.
It's a really beautiful theater, as you can see, if you can see it at all.
He explains that he had been hearing a noise coming from the theatre when no one else was supposed to be around.
But I keep hearing a noise in here, and there's not supposed to be anybody here, so...
Filming for posterity, the uploader shows the unique old architecture of the theatre, as well as one of its unique attractions, the ghost light.
There's the ghost light. It's a light we keep on for...
The uploader explains that the light is usually left on in order to help guide any spirits that happen to remain in the old theatre.
It's a light we keep on for ghosts, for people who still remain here and whatnot, and
However, it's just when the uploader explains the function of the light that he immediately seems to get the sense that he's not alone. Looking up into one of the far balconies, a creepy figure can be seen lurking, watching the uploader.
What is that?
The camera holder tries to get a better vantage point. It's here we can make out a grey silhouette of a man staring down from the balcony. The uploader then follows up with a second clip in which he investigates a potential intruder in the theatre. After the theatre's sirens went off, alerting the worker to the presence of an intruder, he was unable to find anyone in the theatre.
Someone in here? Hello?
However, he explains that he did hear the sound of piano keys tinkling in another room. Going to investigate, the uploader warns the potential intruder that no one's supposed to be in the theatre.
You're not supposed to be in here.
The unseen figure plays a few notes on the piano in response, scaring the uploader, who is now certain he's not alone. Still, he calls out to the intruder again.
Who is it?
Suddenly, the lights turn off and he's confronted with the discordant and menacing notes from the piano. The clip ends with the uploader understandably worried, running away from the theatre from whatever meddling intruder awaited him on the other side of the room. As hospitals are commonly associated with death, it's perhaps no surprise that there have been countless sightings of strange ghostly shapes and figures around them for years. Kitt Williams' mother-in-law was yet another individual who had a peculiar experience in her hospital room in Brisbane, Australia. In the unsettling photograph, the camera is pointed towards the ceiling of a hospital room. In the mid-right view of the photograph, we can see an air vent. While most of the vent looks normal, we can see a strange yellow-brown shape on the left-hand side that seems to peer out eerily into the room. What makes this bizarre figure even scarier is that the mother-in-law claims the shape would blink and look around the room as if inspecting her from above. Even more terrifying, the mother-in-law claimed that she would feel others touching her and waking her up, but no one was around when she would wake up. Others who have viewed the photograph suggested that the figure could simply be a small animal, such as a possum, that have been known to crawl around air vents. Others believe this figure could be something paranormal with sinister intentions. Further still, some have suggested it could be a peeping Tom that has crawled into the vents for a better view. Either way, there's no denying that this air vent is definitely home to something that shouldn't be there. This bizarre footage of an Oklahoma parking lot has made its way around the internet since it was first captured in 2002. Like many infamous scary videos, the footage has become something of a legend. Known as the impound ghost, something truly unsettling was captured on CCTV camera. The news clip features the impound lot employee, Kathy Henley, who first noticed the odd figure on the security cameras.
Our alarm was on, so nobody jumped the fence.
The worker claims to have been frightened by the footage, which seems to show a ghostly figure circle its way around the impound lot. The figure is stiff and white and seems to almost teleport its way atop a circle of vehicles. Clearly scared of what she was seeing, the impound lot worker then claims to have asked one of her co-workers to go and see what was going on. However, the employee found there was not a single soul in sight when they went to investigate the odd occurrence. It seemed the figure could only be seen on video, with other videos online offering extended footage of the ghost's odd behaviour. The employee in the news clip explains that 3 of the vehicles in the impound lot that night were from fatal accidents. One accident had only just occurred that night. A paranormal investigator floated the theory that the ghost was likely someone involved in one of those deadly accidents. Perhaps it was even looking for their car. The figure appears to be circling, lost and confused by the wreckage left behind. With that in mind, this footage becomes even more tragic. Most of the time, when people hear strange sounds in their house, they can be explained by a house settling, the weather outside, or other housemates moving about. Reddit user Oopy Spoopy Man began to hear strange noises in his kitchen, but this time, something far more terrifying may have been to blame. In the photograph, we see a hallway that leads to a kitchen. The part of the kitchen we can see initially looks dark, though there seems to be a strange blur to the left of the door. When we zoom in on the picture, the blur takes on a horrifying shape. The blur comes into focus to show what looks to be a man's head turned to the side, completely white with dark eyes gazing at the photographer. Initially, many other Reddit users couldn't see any shape. When they were able to look at the picture closer, they completely freaked out and began to come up with many different theories. The original Reddit poster claimed that his housemates were all out of the apartment when the picture was taken, and that there's simply no way to explain what was captured on film. He ended up deciding to move out of the residence and in with his family, too scared at the possibility of seeing the figure once again. While some skeptics bring up the potential that the figure could be someone in a mask, such as Michael Myers as seen in Halloween, most agree that the original poster shouldn't take the chance of staying in the residence. So what do you think that mysterious face could be? Love to hear your thoughts in the comments section below. The London Underground has been reported to be haunted for many years. With a long and dangerous history, it's no wonder passengers and staff alike have seen and heard things that can't quite be explained. Neil Andrew Pike and his children were returning home from a day out visiting the Science Museum in Kensington. Pike had been filming all day, capturing the afternoon out with family. While waiting for the train at Knightsbridge Tube Station, Pike was filming the dark tunnel, expecting to see the train arrive at any minute. That's when he noticed some movement, but couldn't quite tell what had happened. When he watched the footage back, he was stunned at what he had captured. The video was uploaded to the YouTube channel ZeroFoxFK for all to see. Take a look. It's hard to spot at first, but if you zoom in, there's a dark figure leaping out onto the tracks. To make this sighting even more chilling, Knightsbridge Station has a dark and gruesome past. According to historical data, in 1664 the area was used as a plague pit. Anyone who died at the Knightsbridge Lazar House, which is basically a leprosy quarantine zone, was buried deep underground, right near the current tube station. In fact, the train tracks curve sharply between Knightsbridge and South Kensington stations, just to avoid the old burial grounds. So could the shadowy figure caught on camera by Pike be linked to the old plague pit? Taking pictures in the mirror is usually a fun activity for most people to do together. Unfortunately for Reddit user Bedaily13, what was supposed to be a fun mirror picture with her sister turned into an unnerving mystery. In the picture, we see a fogged up mirror with a finger-drawn heart right in the middle, presumably with the sister's name scribbled inside of it. We can also make out the two sisters posing, but what we see in between the girls is what makes this photo a scary puzzle. In between the sisters are what seem to be two ghostly figures, with one standing above the other as they both look into the mirror with the girls. The original poster explained that her house was originally built in the 1960s, but there was no abnormal history that took place in the house that she knows of, even after doing some extensive research on its background. Other Reddit users suggested that the two boyish figures could have been siblings in another time, who wanted to join in on the photo and believe there's no huge threat to the girls. Still, the mystery of who these boys are and why they chose this particular house to appear is a puzzle to everyone who's seen the photo. This unsettling photo was submitted to Reddit by user Red Desert Cowboy. The uploader claims the photo was taken in 2012 during a demolition of the old East Junior High School in Wyoming. A woman on site was documenting the demolition of the historic building when one of the photos seemed to capture something more than a record of posterity. In the photo, a figure stands among the rubble. It appears to be a woman in a white dress. Her head is bent on an unnatural angle. A second, lightened version of the photo shows the figure in more detail. Many of the comments on Reddit made the connection between the frightful image and the bent neck lady, featured in Netflix's horror series Haunting of Hill House. The uploader claims the old building dates back to around the 1920s, and that it was used as a brothel for a period of time. It then became a home of education where students often reported seeing ghostly figures in darkened areas of the hallways. There's no indication of who this woman in white might be. There appears to be no deaths linked to the property, so why then are there so many reports of ghostly activity? Until further information comes to hand, this freaky bent-neck lady will have to remain an unsettling mystery. Houses where menacing figures once lived have often been the setting of many a horror film. While they're terrifying themselves in the movie world, they become even more frightening when one visits these houses in real life. Slaptown viewer Christopher G proves why this is so, with the photograph he shared originally sent to him by a friend who visited an old home with plenty of history. In the photograph, we see a room that appears to be an attic with objects and furniture strewn about. While the camera's focus seems to be a pink chair covered with an American flag, something more sinister catches our eyes in the upper left-hand corner. Here we can make out a translucent figure standing and looking in the direction of the photographer. While the bottom half of the figure is harder to make out, the head of the figure is more defined, looking like a man with a darkened face. The photographer didn't initially notice the figure until the photo was posted online. The figure becomes even more frightening once the history of the house is brought into context. The house once belonged to Captain George Conrad Flavel, who moved into the home with his wife and son in 1901. The house was passed down to Captain George Conrad Flavel's son, Harry Flavel, who lived there with his wife and 2 children until he died in the 1950s. But it was in the 1940s when trouble first started. Harry Flavel's son, Cory S, attacked a neighbour with a hatchet in 1947. After the incident, the Flavels became ostracised by the rest of the neighbourhood, living as recluses in the home. 40 years later, Cory S went on to randomly attack a neighbour's car with a chain. He eventually stabbed the neighbour too. He served 7 years in prison, and when he returned, the family quickly moved out of the house where it was abandoned for nearly 20 years. Having housed a man who was prone to attacking those around him, the question arises: could the creepy figure caught in the photograph be the spirit of Cory S, displeased with visitors to his once territory? Or could it be that a spirit with evil intent perhaps drove Cory S to these violent actions? Both theories, coupled with this photo, make for an unsettling conclusion either way. This video was uploaded to YouTube in 2014 by user James McLean. It begins with the uploader stating he's been hearing noises all night.
Okay, I've been hearing all night.
He begins to investigate when suddenly a guitar can be heard being strummed in the back room. As the camera holder investigates, something chilling happens in the hallway.
Hello?
A picture frame inexplicably falls to the ground, along with what looks like some wood paneling.
Jesus Christ! Whoa!
The camera holder is clearly frightened as he backs away from the incident.
Jesus Christ! Whoa! Oh.
According to a post on Reddit, an old friend of James died in the back room where the guitar can be heard.
See?
It's alleged that James often had dreams of his deceased friend that seemed unnaturally real. It was though he was talking to him in person. An undefined figure was also often seen lurking in the house but would quickly disappear. The Reddit post also announced that James sadly passed away of a heart attack in the same room in March of 2019. He was just 40 years old. So could this footage show James's friend attempting to make contact?
Hello?
Some viewers have noted the blurry quality of the footage, suggesting it was a hoax and that some string might have been used to pull the picture frame to the floor.
Jesus Christ!
However, considering the tragic backstory, it seems unlikely that someone would fake the footage for some cheap thrills.
Jesus Christ! Whoa!
Many individuals post eerie pictures and videos on social media in hopes that others can explain the creepy stuff that they've seen. Facebook user Tyler Thornton did just that, with the photos he uploaded of what was supposed to be a completely empty house in Victoria, Australia. The photo, taken at the house of the Facebook user's recently deceased father, is a close-up of a window. Here, viewers see a glimpse of the kitchen, but what stands inside of it is what's gone on to divide the internet. Standing to the viewer's left of the kitchen is what appears to be a tall man holding and looking down at something. The man's face and body look grey and hard to make out, but stand out clearly across the black background. The uploader of the photo emphasises that no one was home when the photos were taken, and other Facebook users quickly began to post theories as to who the man could be. Some automatically suggested a ghost, resembling a man who's doing the dishes, while another user wondered if the man could be a squatter. The photo still divides viewers today, with no definite answer as to who the figure is ever given. The ghost footage submitted to the GMA Public Affairs YouTube channel by one Leah Pineda Fuentes claims to show the spirit of a bride's deceased mother. As the text before the photo states, "Just wanted to share this photo taken last August 2016. It was my sister-in-law's wedding. Her mum died in 2007. I was taking a picture, but I felt something else. I'm arranging a picture to post on FB. I was shocked by what I saw. Mama was there a long time ago." When zooming in on the picture, there's a mysterious figure partially hidden by a bouquet of flowers. While the photo is blurry and hard to make out in any great detail, the family insists it resembles the bride's deceased mother. As Fuentes pointed out, it would seem her sister-in-law can rest assured knowing her mother is likely still watching over her during the big transitions in her life, which is surely more of a comforting thought than anything else. While the purpose of motion sensing cameras is often to keep individuals inside a residence safe from things outside of it, sometimes it's the inside forces that pose the biggest threat. Slaptown viewer Phil Hayball offers evidence of this with a photo he shared of a friend's house in the United Kingdom. In the picture, the motion sensing camera is pointed at the front door. This time there's no need to zoom in to get a closer look. The petrifying figure is clear as day, hovering right in front of the entrance to the home. The large figure, semi-transparent, seems to be wearing a large cloak or trench coat that covers its body except for its large dark hand hanging from a sleeve. The head of the enormous figure is cut off by the top of the image. There's no denying that a strange figure is in this photograph, though what this figure could be is a mystery to all who see it. Phil Hayball says he has no further information on the figure or what it could possibly be, making this one of the more head-scratching motion sensing camera puzzles we've seen. It almost always seems as though security officers get the short end of the stick when they're the only one around in often deserted buildings. This video, which first appeared on LiveLeak and was later uploaded to YouTube by user Tempest0, is yet another example of this. It's not clear whether the building in question was already known to be haunted. However, it seems it certainly was being haunted at the time this video was recorded. The footage was captured by the only security guard on duty in a Costa Rican office. He introduces the video by explaining he's been hearing weird noises coming from the women's restroom.
Que se escuchan ruidos extraños ahí en el baño.
Not only this, but the door to the restroom was seen opening by itself.
Se abrió la puerta.
Going against all horror movie lore, the security guard actually turns on all the lights in the building so he can get a better look. He says he can hear odd sounds when suddenly something creepy happens in the background.
Por Dios, vea la silla.
Although it's difficult to see, the security officer claims that the chair moved by itself.
Dios, ve a la silla.
Moments later, the chair moves yet again, this time more visibly.
Santo Dios.
Just when you think it doesn't get any creepier, keep an eye on the door. Without knowing the conclusion of the odd event, one can only hope the security officer left the building without experiencing too much trauma. Is there anything scarier than a family picture gone wrong? Chris Downing soon discovered that perhaps no, nothing is, with a family picture that was taken with his children in 2012. The picture first appears to be a normal family photo, with Chris Downing sitting in the middle, his daughter to the viewer's right and son to the left. The family all seem to be perfectly happy, smiling for the camera, but a look at the son's leg begins to paint a different picture. On the son's leg appears to be a small hand that seems to grip onto him, which comes from no discernible body or another figure that we can tell. Downing explained that a week after the photo was taken, his daughter called him and frighteningly pointed out the hand that was gripping the son's leg. None of the family members were able to explain the hand in the photo initially, though Downing soon came up with an idea. Prior to the photo being taken, Downing had suffered a drug overdose, where he had temporarily passed away before coming back to life soon after. Downing believes the only logical explanation of the hand in the photo is that a ghost or spirit came back with him from the afterlife. Most of the commentators of the photo are quick to disclaim the picture, simply suggesting the hand could be one of a relative out of the shot. However, the family has been adamant that no one else was in the room beside the photographer. Dying and coming back to life is a very rare medical occurrence, so it's definitely not hard to believe that something just as unusual could have joined him on his journey back to reality. In late 2019, a group of friends attended a night market in the Philippines. They huddled together to snap a memory of their trip to the bustling market. Nothing seemed amiss until one of the group members reviewed the photo. There on the right-hand side is a small child's face jutting out on a strange angle. The face is pale and slightly out of focus. It doesn't match the skin tones of the rest of the group at all. No one there that day remembers seeing a small child in the area, let alone right next to the group when the photo was taken. Some viewers have taken the pale features of the child as a sign that it's not of this world, some ghostly visage attempting to make contact. Yearbooks can already be scary enough thanks to awkward adolescents forever captured in photographs. But what if something else, equally as harrowing, is caught on camera? Slaptam viewer Cory S offers viewers the chance to see something not commonly seen in yearbook photos, in his dad's 1984 book. Upon first glance, viewers of the black and white photograph see two young women sitting on a couch in white dresses, smiling for the camera. There are windows that seem to show the trees outside of the house or perhaps a building in the back. Upon closer inspection, viewers can suddenly see something else, what appears to be a man standing behind the window on the left. He appears to be wearing a cap with his hands crossed in front of him, looking directly into the camera. Cory S explains that his father and his father's high school classmates could never identify who the man was in the photograph. While some have suggested that the picture could simply be a case of double exposure, Cory S denies this due to the man's position behind the window frame. Could this man just be a reflection, or could it be a ghostly figure who wanted to leave his mark? Love to get your thoughts on this one in the comments section below.
Well,
Well, that's the end of today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you can't get enough of our content, then check out these 2 links right there. Leave us a comment down below and hit that thumbs up button. It really helps us out. And that's it for me. I'll see you all next time.